Peace and prosperity, blessings and abundance. This is Kay, and once again, it is a great day to have a great day. Welcome back to Inner Elevation 9. Happy Halloween. Happy All Saints Day. Feliz Dia de los Muertos. I'm going to be talking about this in conjunction with this whole Black Panther thing that we got going on right now. Just a collection of thoughts I have that should come together like butt cheeks in just a moment. So I've been having dreams throughout the month. I am reckoning as flashes back into past lives, and what I believe this particular time is a resonant wave of was the days right before the Great Flood, which you read about in the Bible, which you read about in the Epic of Gilgamesh, amongst other works from around the world in different cultures. In my dreams, I've had some experiences of being someone who was trying to stop the comet, experiences of actually losing family and children, things of that nature. Some of the fascination of it, some of the spectacle of it, some of the fallout and the pain of experiencing a situation like that. As a man, just as a person who could be witness and a participant in an apocalyptic episode in a visceral and vivid manner, it's quite impactful. Along with that, I could see how the image of the comet as it's coming down from the sky, along with some of the fragmentations, could look like ghosts. I could definitely get the sense of how the fear of the moment could stimulate an awareness of otherworldliness, that just the heat and the changes in the atmosphere, you could see how different cultures would be impacted differently. That experience for me was working in conjunction with another experience, which is going to visit some folks, and they have a time vacuum. They have a television in almost every room, and one of the things that popped on was a trailer for the new Black Panther movie, and I don't know much about it. I haven't done any research since seeing this. Just the imagery I saw. Again, if I'm murdering the film, I apologize. But what I saw was essentially, it looked like the king had died, like T'Challa was gone, and there was this idea that this other culture, the feathered serpent god, was rising up to come in conquest of Wakanda. And I just thought, like, my first thought was like, for real? They gonna sell us black on brown violence right now? I watched the trailer to the end, and it looked like the young sister took over the reins, which I would expect to happen. But I mean, since that day, this was a couple of days ago, and I've been thinking about it. Just like in the first film, a CIA trained brother who ends up being the one that infiltrates Wakanda and takes the throne. It's just the idea that a CIA agent was the one that infiltrated Wakanda, and he was the one that was speaking the most hard-hitting truth. Like his conversation with the young lady in the museum about them stealing his ancestors' artifacts and putting them on display. The conversation about rather being thrown into the ocean with his ancestors who knew that death was better than being a prisoner or a slave. All those are really hard-hitting facts. Those are things worthy of exploration. And they're also the things that the villain said. So the picture that's painted in both of those scenarios via Black Panther, the CIA informant, quote unquote, being an infiltrator of the black nation, as well as in this particular trailer that I saw, the brown people being the primary ones who want to come in conquest. They're going to be the conquerors or the invaders or the colonizers of Wakanda if we don't offend ourselves against the brown people. It's really, really interesting illusions, particularly on a day of illusions. So a whole bunch of people walk around in costumes, and I hope you and your kids, if you guys celebrate this, I hope you guys have a great time. I hope you're safe. It's just an exercise in thought of being able to see through the mask and see through the illusions that are being presented to us. I think it's terribly important for us as individuals and as a people. Again, no diss to Black Panther. This is not a knock or a critique. This is just bringing out certain points so that we can begin to explore deeper the realities that are around us and not just get lost so much in these fantasies. I am a huge advocate of the imagery of beautiful, elegant, powerful, articulate, dominant, and unified people of color of all cultures from all over the world. It's just really interesting that we would take a culture or a concept like the feathered serpent that is born out of African tradition via people who walked to another land that we call the Olmecs. And we were pitching, even though we're pivoting probably some of the descendants of the Olmec who were merged in with other bloodlines that were already diluted by foreigners who came across the Bering Strait from the north. Even with those things, the idea that those would be the individuals that would rise up to come in conquest of this great land, that they would go to their father's and their mother's home and invade their father and their mother's house to take their father and their mother's goods. I think that's a little bit ingenuous. And it's the subtle and unspoken messages behind the obvious that always appear to me. Like Spider-Man, I think it was the No Way Home. Maybe it's not the No Way Home. It's the one where Doctor Strange is making the spell to help people forget about him or whatnot. And he interrupts the spell and goes on to defend these villains who are all looking to kill him in other timelines. I spoke with my son and some other people after the movie was over, and what I got out of that was that the kid could have just listened to the source of wisdom, which was Doctor Strange. After all, he was just on another planet with this dude. He just saw this dude go into multiple dimensions to analyze any possible way of alleviating the problem, which was Thanos at the time. And this dude just saw a giant purple man from another planet snap half of existence into oblivion. So at this point, I'm listening to Doctor Strange, right? I'm very clear on how bad it could get. But for whatever reason, he, was listening to his auntie who knows nothing about any of this stuff. And in the end of it, she ends up dead. He still ends up forgotten. He loses everything. It's just altogether a worse situation by the end of the movie. And people somehow walked out of there completely oblivious to that aspect, but very fascinated with a lot of the illusions. So just curious as to if this is the same effect that this Black Panther movie may have on our people, that our brown and black people, the melanated, the most highly melanated on the planet, could walk out with a subtle sense of animosity towards each other, not remembering that we have a common ancestry and a common culture. So, today, a lot of you guys are embracing the illusion. Been complaining about money and fussing about your relationships, and you're itchy about the people next to you. I know individuals in my life, say a young lady I used to deal with, known each other for years, and we had a lot of very logical reasons why we would pursue a relationship together. And, I could explain that, I could articulate it, and based on the principles I live my life by, which I can clearly articulate, and the methodologies and practices to make sure I maintain the standard, which I can clearly articulate. I can write them down. It's got nothing to do with my feelings. It's got everything to do with structure, purpose, and intent, and making sure that they're measurables that support that we still could not get over the hump. The reason being is I cannot entrust myself to something that does not line with these universal principles, these universal laws, and these universal methodologies that I, again, can clearly articulate even to a child, which I do. And 4 and 5-year-olds get it. For whatever reason, this young lady was more interested in the illusion of her feelings, what she felt like I was saying, what she felt like was going on her side, articulating her core values in a way that she could say them so she can be held accountable was not something very high on her priority list. Being able to articulate her principles and practices that ensured that she was following and upholding those core values was not something high on her priority list. Having the ability to be able to develop methods that she can pass on to the young, very important for a wife and a mother, right? In my opinion, was not high on her priority list. Feeling connected to me, and the feeling of how much fun we have, and the feeling of having someone she can talk to, and feeling safe with, and feeling like he's a good provider, all those feelings were there. But the actual links and foundations upon which we could build a life together was not something that was high on her priority list. So, as much as I felt a connection to her, and as deeply as I feel affection for her even to this day, love the girl tremendously, but to maintain this, it's like, peace. You gotta be able to walk away. Had to be able to walk away. That is a very deep and very painful thing to do. What seems so painful? What seems so much like you, like it's actually you, that you know is not. You know it's not aiding you. You know it's not benefiting you. You know it adds no value to your life. You know by talking to that person, being with that person, holding those ideas, practicing those things, you do not honor yourself, you do not honor your family, and you do not honor the higher values that you propose to other people that you hold. What are you doing that you know is a violation? You know it's a violation. What illusions are you holding on to that have you at war with yourself, within yourself? You have a difficult time sleeping at night. You can't even really rest without drinking. You need a drink to go to sleep. You need to hit the blunt to go to sleep. This ain't judgment or shame. I'm not saying you're wrong or right for drinking or smoking or whatever. This is about the necessities of your life. You feel like you need to do these things, to do very simple things, like go to sleep. That's not weird to you? That's not something that will qualify as a reason to wake up? And you know the right and the wrong inside you. The reality of all these things is you're the king of your kingdom. You're the ruler. You're the God of your world. There's no one else that decides your thoughts. There's no one else that decides your words. There's no one else that's making you do anything. Even though I can imagine some of you are saying that something's making you happy and something's making you sad. Something's making you be. So I would ask that this day, on this day of illusions, that at some point today, when you take the mask off your child, or you take the mask off yourself physically, that you will remember and do what you can to remove the mask. You probably got multiple masks on, but do what you can to take one off and see the person beneath that mask, beneath this image that you keep painting to other people about what you cannot do and what you don't feel. Deal with the true you. The true you. This is a practical step. This is a incredibly powerful tool and technique that you can use today on this day. Because there's a time open right now for you to make tremendous change. That time will close and you will be in another cycle. Again, this thing isn't a straight line. You're going in a circle or you're spiraling. I would love for you to get on that spiral and ascend higher and higher and higher. There will be a cyclicalness to it. Things come around. What goes around does come around. But you can be moving up levels with this thing. So today, join me in elevation. I'm right here with you. You got my full support, obviously. I've been praying for you. I'm pulling for you. I'm sending you the energy. I'm rocking the vibe. I'm sending the chants. I got the singing bowls and the incense burning, the candles cooking. We got the sage and the lavender. We got all that going on. The holy baths with the lotus flowers floating around in it. All that's happening on my side of the water. But you sitting in your physical shoes, dealing with the things you're dealing with, have this grand and glorious opportunity, this beautiful opportunity today to take action. Take off your mask. Look clearly into your own eyes. See the illusions that you've been holding up. Write those things down and cross them off and ball it up and let them go. Release those things from your spirit and see the life that you can have. Conceive of the best thing that you could do in the next 5 years. Like, what's the dopest thing, even if it seems a little larger than realistic? Dream big. Really, really, really dream big. Conceive of the greatest outcome that you could create for yourself and the people in your environment in the next 5 years, and write it down. And if you can go a little bit further than that, write down all the steps you know you need to take. You know you need to take. I need to start cleaning my room. I need to start brushing my teeth at night before I go to bed and in the morning. I need to start making sure I do my own laundry. I need to pay all my bills. I need to be up early in the morning so I can pray and work out. I need to work out. All that. Write it all down. All of it. Write it down. And write it down in the positive. I will do this. I will quit smoking these cigarettes. I will quit drinking as much. I will quit violating myself in these ways. I will quit lying to myself and to other people in these ways. Write it down. and make a commitment to yourself today. Don't wait for a freaking New Year's resolution. Today is your day. Let's elevate. I love you. Peace and abundance.